So I'm delighted to say that joining us from Frankfurt is Basti Red from the Eintracht Frankfurt podcast to look ahead to that mammoth, mouth-watering semi-final Europa League first leg on Thursday. Basti, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for dialing in. You're travelling to the airport tomorrow for the game at London Stadium. How are you feeling?
I'm quite nervous because the final is so close. But there's a tough opponent ahead, so it's kind of mixed. It's kind of you can feel there's history in the making. We felt that at Barcelona's, but right now I have the feeling that the game against you guys is pretty much tougher than the Barcelona game, because Barcelona had their own issues, and as from what I experience, is you taking the Europa League as much as serious as we do. So
yeah, of course,
kind of a 50-50 game. Barcelona was kind of a Champions League club. We're not into the Europa League, so maybe that was our chance. But as I saw from your starting lineup against Chelsea, you're taking Eintracht Frankfurt very seriously. So.
Yeah, exactly that. There's look, talk to me before we move on to both of our clubs. Talk to me about that Barcelona game. I mean, I assume you're coming over to London on Thursday.
Still
I assume, yeah, I bet. You were still there. You were there in Barcelona, I guess. 30-odd, or between 20 and 30,000 Eintracht Frankfurt fans. We've all seen the images around Europe. Absolutely amazing following from your club. Xavi, the Barcelona manager, not happy at all. But just talk to me about the experience, how it felt to be there, virtually taking over the new camp, and to get the win as well must have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was surreal. So in my opinion, there were more than 30,000 there, because the WAP guys, and after the game, we all gathered in one place, and it was half of the stadium, and there were 80,000 people there. So my opinion is there were 40,000 in there. As I said, it was surreal because it's Barcelona, it's quarterfinal, it's Europa League. It's not that natural habit for Eintracht Frankfurt, so it's very special for us, even though we're playing against Donetsk or some other opponents, and then it's Barcelona. You had 1-1 from the first leg, so there was something in it. And as Eintracht scored the penalty, I was very dizzy. So it was kind of an experience. I was very sweaty. I wanted to sing, but I was nervous. It was kind of a how do you say it? Overnatural experience.
Yeah. Of course. Was it something? So I don't know. Like, how did it work with the? I assume it's just, were you sitting in the away end? Like, did you get your tickets through the club? Were you one of the small amount of Eintracht fans, or were you in what would normally be an area for home fans? Like, how did your understanding of it work with the Eintracht Frankfurt fans basically just taking over the stadium?
It was quite easy. So I didn't get the president arguing about it. So it was very easy for Eintracht fans to get tickets. You just had to have a credit card from another country than Germany.
Right.
And every Eintracht fan knows someone in Spain, in the USA, in the US, in England. So you just ask your friend. You can emulate credit cards via Skrill or something. So it was not that hard to buy tickets from the website from Barcelona. So I was very confused that Laporta told us, we don't know how this could happen, and blah. It was very easy, my friend. So I guess it was kind of a false flag discussion from him, covering up some other problems.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't appropriate for Barcelona, you know. It's like Frankfurt went there. They should have gone good losers and say congratulations, and this was amazing and blah blah blah. But they were moaning about it, and it was kind of a fucked up situation. So because just congratulate Eintracht Frankfurt and then that's it. So as I said, it was very, very easy to get those tickets and to come in. Even with you saw it, every Eintracht fan had a white shirt or a white jersey. So they at the entrance they could have stopped it. So but they didn't. So as I said, there were more than 30,000 there, and it was kind of cool because Eintracht fans travel a lot. So we went with 18,000 to Bordeaux. We were with 10,000 in Porto. We were 15,000 at San Siro. So it's not that a surprise, but the amount of people there, it even doubled our usual crowd who travels to all the games, it was surreal. And then you look up at what's called the scoreboard. You see, and then it's 3-0 Eintracht Frankfurt at us, and then I just froze. Froze.
Yeah. We had, obviously it's nowhere near as big of an achievement as going to Barcelona and doing it, but we had the same thing. I was in Lyon the other week for our game there, and exactly the same thing. 69 minutes it was. I remember it. So, I've still got a photo of it. Just exactly the same, 3-0 away, and it was really that when the third goal went in, the same feelings as you had. I was there with my dad, and we've spent a lot of years watching West Ham be awful.
Yeah,
just
that's the same in Frankfurt. So there's kind of a similarity to our clubs. We have strong supporters,
exactly,
but we have also a history with I would say roller coaster.
Yeah, of course, And but honestly, when the third one went in, it was just so overwhelming and just really emotional, and I just couldn't believe it.
I didn't celebrate the third goal. It was looking at a car accident. It's like I just froze and said, "Okay, that's it. That's too much."
Yeah, it's too much to process, right?
Too much to process. Even if you consider that we're 2 years Corona, so you don't have the stadium experience for 2 years. Yeah. And then we came back, and then this was kind of too much for me. So standing there is right.
Yeah, I feel you.
The process is still on, but now there's a game ahead.
Well,
so
exactly. You need a bit more time to let it sink in, don't you? But look, congratulations, man. It must have been absolutely phenomenal. And I think for those clubs most fans around Europe, think it's absolutely amazing what you did, like with all the fans getting into the stadium. And like you said, it's for the home club to stop that from happening. They didn't. Your fans traveled in numbers with massive passion.
They sold us the tickets. They were season ticket holders who sold us their tickets. So Eintracht Frankfurt kind of showed them what they lost. So they didn't have that passion. They had many tourists. You will know it from Premier League. So we showed them what they lost, and it's real passion and it's organic. And I don't know if you saw the comment from Derek Ray about the 50+1.
No, go on. I'm aware of the 50+1 rule.
But Derek Ray compared it to, it's like, this is organic and this is real, and he couldn't fake it. It's like we have in Germany, we have RB Leipzig, we have Hoffenheim, we have Wolfsburg. You can't fake it. So then it's in Barcelona, it's the same. If you have many tourists holding season tickets, like I experienced it in Liverpool. There's a Chinese guy coming to me at the train station, gives me his season tickets, and then I went into the stadium to watch a Liverpool Jurgen Klopp game. So in Frankfurt, it would never be happening. Even with you guys, it won't happen, because I experienced how hard it is to get some tickets. In Barcelona, it was easy. I don't think we'll manage to pull something off in West Ham. So.
No, definitely not. So what's your understanding? I was going to ask you about that later, but I'll bring it up now. What's your sort of understanding of it at the moment? Have you got a sense of how many Frankfurt fans are coming to London? Or, like you said, West Ham fans are struggling to get tickets for the game, who normally find it reasonably easy, members and all that sort of thing. Everyone who can lay their hands on one has already done so. So how are you sensing among Frankfurt fans? How many will be here? How many will be in the stadium, etc., etc.?
I guess we got 3,000 tickets from official contingent, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We're not more than 1,000 plus, so that's like max 4,000. If they get some from sponsors or VIP stuff like that, I don't know. There are many Eintracht fans from America who tried to buy a VIP lounge, but I guess it will be 3,000 to 4,000 max. So as you said, the West Ham fans want to go by themselves, and that's the difference to Barcelona, is that they just don't care. And if you double them the price, they'll give you their tickets, and then that won't happen. So I guess there will be around 5,000 in town. Then maybe 3,500 in the stadium, and then I have to say that's it.
Fair enough. So as far as sort of move on to your team and how you're getting on, you're 9th in the Bundesliga this season. You've mentioned already how seriously you're taking the Europa League, and I can only assume that's because you can't make any European competition domestically anymore, if I'm right in saying that. What have you made sort of your season? Is the way you are at the moment fairly normal, or how's the view among fans?
No, we have some Corona issues because Eintracht Frankfurt is a lot depending on their money you get from ticket buyers and stuff like that. So there's kind of a hole in the budget, and that led Eintracht Frankfurt to kind of a chaotic squad planning. So we don't have any real striker. Right. So we have Paciencia, we have Lamas, but they don't perform at all. So they're not even on the bench in some games. So we're missing in Frankfurt. Nobody wants to hear it from me again because I'm telling it week after week after week after week. We are missing a striker. So and we didn't buy one in winter because they told us there's no money due to Corona. But that's what we're missing. So we can't win the 50-50 games. We played against Cologne and they have Modeste and we don't. So they win the game 1-0. So
yeah, sure.
We have a lot of points. We lost a lot of points because we don't have a striker. If you have to win some games where you're not the better side, it's like it's not your day, but there's a corner and then clack, then you win the game. So, and we are missing that game, this season. That's exactly the points we are lacking to qualify for Europa again. So, but what can I say? I can't. Make Corona away. I can't give Eintracht my own money, so we have to get to summer, and we already bought a striker with Colomouani from FC Nantes. Right. So they saw the problem, they solved it, but they solved it in summer. So that's not that doesn't care about this season. So
sure.
We have to get through the season, and as you said, the only opportunity to qualify again, then it's for the Champions League, is about the Europa League. But I'm kind of skeptical to that. I'm kind of mad that the season went how it went because in winter you had the opportunity to correct some things and they didn't. So that's they saw what's coming and they didn't do anything. So if we lose against you right now, then I guess there will be a big hangover because you realize, okay, we are not in the Champions League via the Europa League. We are out in the semifinals again, and then we're in the league at 9, 10, 11. So then you have to rebuild in summer because many players are in focus of other clubs, and we need the money. So it's kind of a rocky situation right now.
Yeah, sure. It sounds extremely similar to the situation at West Ham. We've had Michail Antonio playing up front all season, who's a converted right back anyway. Exactly the same
I
thing.
can't relate to that. So. Rafael Barre is a winger too. So, and he's in the center, already playing against two center backs. It's kind of hard for him. So I couldn't blame him because he's very, very short. But yes, as you said, you had Michail Antonio, but you have what's your top scorer, Bowen?
Yeah, Jared Bowen's. Yeah, he's phenomenal coming in off the wing. But I mean, it's just there's very similar feelings at West Ham at the moment, because we've been playing really well domestically as well in the Premier League. And
you have the chance to qualify, right? Yeah,
it's very slim. I mean, we could. It looks like now top because we're 8th at the moment, and 7th is the Conference League, 6th and 5th are the Europa League.
Okay.
But Man United are 6th at the moment. Tottenham are 5th. We're not going to catch Tottenham. Unlikely to catch Man United. Our squad's decimated with suspensions.
Same situation like us. So
we're just all our eggs in the Europa League basket. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's exactly. Yeah, that makes me far more nervous for sure. But looking ahead to Thursday, then, Basti, how do you think it's going to go? What's your sort of style wise? How do you see the game playing out in London? How will Eintracht approach it? What sort of formation will you set up with players? Blah blah blah.
I guess we'll focus on not losing too high to get the opportunity to make things clear in the second leg. So it's different to Barcelona. So we have the home game to decide everything. That's kind of an advantage for us, I guess. But other than Barcelona, you have a very physical team, and that doesn't connect well with our playing style. Eintracht Frankfurt needs space to play. Then they have very fast players, and we need the room, like Barcelona gave us. Like you can push and long balls. I guess your style is similar to ours, so that will bring down to the physicality, and there's a advantage on your side, I guess. So I guess we'll have to concentrate, and that's what we did in Sevilla. That's what we did in Barcelona. So we have to be concentrated for the whole game. And it was kind of a problem this season. So we all had the roller coaster between in games, even there, and we have to be concentrated 19 minutes to, I don't know, maybe play 1-1, 0-0, and then all things to our home crowd. So because at home games in Frankfurt and Europa League especially, there is some kind of a, there's a certain magic around it.
Yeah.
And then, things can, I don't know, in Germany, we say verselbstständigt. I don't know what's it is in English. It's like, that's, I don't know. I will look it up for you. What
just magic. Well, I was at your, while you do that, while you look it up, I was at I went to your game in Betis because I went to the Sevilla game and you played the night before us on Wednesday, and I went along, and it was a fairly convincing win for you guys, but it just seemed from my perspective, I couldn't really work out if you were good because Real Betis were so bad. It seemed it was quite. I couldn't really figure out if you were really, really impressive side, or it was because I just thought Betis were pretty terrible. You would have had to go out of your way not to beat them. And then, but one thing I was impressed with, you talk about the fans. We were in the Real Betis end, obviously, but the atmosphere that the away fans created, they were the loudest in the whole stadium in Betis. And I was really impressed. It was really good. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most. This will be the first game at home that we've had this season where the away end will be full, because Leon only bought Leon bought 1,000, maybe Sevilla bought 800. So that'll be exciting. It'll make for a fantastic atmosphere. The tickets for the Frankfurt game, I think there's hardly any left at the moment. They're still going through all the dedicated supporters with all the points and all that sort of thing. So there's not going to be a single one of those to be sold. So I think both occasions are going to be, from an atmosphere and a fan's point of view, are going to be absolutely phenomenal.
It will be. So, and that's what I was trying to explain. It's like, even what happens in our season and your season, domestic season, doesn't count at this day. It's what it's like. It goes on to this. You need luck. You need a referee. You need maybe a penalty, maybe a corner kick, maybe some red card. I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's 2 games. So we already discussed what's on stake here. So it's I have to believe that will be something magical, even though at the away game. So maybe there's a lucky goal, like in Barcelona. We were. I was sitting down and I was realizing what happens. We were having a competitive game at Barcelona, and then the referee gives penalty, and I was like, okay, what's up here? I need to have a similar situation like that. It's like there's maybe one mistake from your center backs, or I don't know. Because it will be very, very close. I was talking to a lot of English journalists after the Barcelona games, and when it was clear that we're playing against you, and they all said it's like a 50-50 game. It's like a 50-50 game with a light advantage to you because you're more physical than us, and we have Ndika and Jakic not playing at the first game. So I said the bench in Frankfurt is not that impressive. So we have a very, very good starting 11, but if there's someone missing, you can't replace him. So that's what we have to do now. But the same thing I thought at Barcelona, because So wasn't playing, and it didn't matter either. So there's no serious there's no serious thing I can say about these games, because everything can happen and everything will happen. And I have to believe that's.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, there was in Sevilla the night before the game on your game, there was a small pocket of trouble between the two sets of fans, Eintracht Frankfurt fans and West Ham. I'm sure you might have seen the footage outside O'Neill's pub in Seville. Very sort of small amount of people, and then that seemed to be the only incident in the whole city. Before and after, we were drinking with some Eintracht Frankfurt fans on the Wednesday before your game. The atmosphere was for perfectly peaceful and friendly, and everyone was having a good time and a chat. What was the sort of view in Germany or in Frankfurt of that sort of incident?
Yeah, I guess as you said, it's important to point out that there was not many people who are fighting. There was I don't know 20 against 20, and it was like
Maybe.
Yeah, it seemed like a bar fight. It was not that. It doesn't seem like there's some fan groups who made a date to really go on each other. So it was kind of a spontaneous thing, as you see in all cities. So we didn't make a real big buzz about it. So. But I don't know how the situation will be now. I guess police will know that. So we probably will have to go with police escort to the stadium. There's nothing happening there. But as you said, we were drinking with West Ham fans a Wednesday night too. So we were at the pubs where the pub.
Yeah.
That's where it happened. And I was there. Nothing happened. So I can't tell it. So because I'm not into that, so I'm not into the. I guess there are some Frankfurt fans and some West Ham fans. If they will meet each other, they probably will fighting. But I don't know. I don't know if the police situation is in London. I don't know if they're very.
No, at London Stadium, it's really good, to be honest. We've had no trouble for the Lyon any of the games so far.
Okay.
It's all been pretty reasonable. There's been some inside the stadium, but on the whole, the police operations are pretty good. And they're good at keeping fans apart.
I guess it's normal, but I'm not shocked about stuff like that. Maybe if it happened, if some no one attacks me, I'm fine. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just fans are sort of curious as to what that's going to be like on Thursday. So the tie as a whole, Basti, we've chatted about it already. What you mentioned briefly, so what's team news wise? What sort of have you got anyone missing, big players missing, suspensions, injuries, anything like that for Thursday?
Yes, and Dika isn't playing because of the red card in Barcelona game, and Jakic saw the second or third yellow card. I don't know.
Yeah. What positions are they for those who might not know?
Indika is our most important centre back, and Jakic is a defensive midfielder. So it's like compared to your Suchek,
Yeah, sure,
like the same position. Yeah, they're two very important players, and in the domestic season we couldn't. We couldn't replace them, but as I said, it's one game, and there were 2 games, and then in Barcelona, Touré was playing, who didn't play the whole season, so he made a very good game. So I'll hope for 1 game or 2 games we can replace them, but I would sleep better if they were playing.
Yeah. And who do West Ham fans need to look out for? Who's your most dangerous player? Who we got to be scared of?
Obviously, Filip Kostic.
Yeah. There's I think there's a general acceptance among Hammers fans of that one. But look, Basti, it's been absolutely brilliant having you with us. We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks.
Hopefully we can have a brief chat next week ahead of the after the first leg, ahead of that second leg in Frankfurt, which I'll be out for. Just give us a score prediction then for Thursday night. What do you think the score's going to be?
1-1.
1-1. I reckon West Ham fans would take that as well. Look, Basti, it's been brilliant. We hope you enjoy your time in London. Not too much, of course. It's Basti Red there from the Eintracht Frankfurt podcast, joining us to look ahead to that mouthwatering Europa League semi-final, first leg against Frankfurt on Thursday. Stay with